Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. We are coming up on the release of a game and a remake that has gotten exceedingly divisive, exceedingly controversial. I see people that are absolutely stoked and excited about the Silent Hill 2 remake, and then I also see people pushing back, whether it be the changes made in Silent Hill 2, whether it be the abundance of remakes that are coming out, whatever the deal is. It really seems like there is a split audience and a split excitement level attached to the game. Now, if you are one of those people that are incredibly excited about Silent Hill 2, I want to give you guys some information before you buy this game on Steam and PC in particular. You can get the game considerably, and I mean considerably cheaper. And I think one of the biggest point of contentions that a Silent Hill 2 remake can have is the fact that it's $70, which is a little bit pricey for a horror game that I think you're going to be able to finish rather quickly. You know, I'm not totally against games being expensive and being on the shorter side. I think games of all sizes can exist, but I totally understand if you're in the position where you are working with, you know, a budget. I think it's very important to be budget-minded, and you don't want to spend $70 on a game that is going to be however many hours long. It's not going to be super lengthy. So we'll talk about getting it cheaper. Want to go over the system requirements in depth as well and break those down because those are rather interesting. And once again, going in a direction that I am not a big fan of. Not only do we only have 2 tiers to work with, but on top of that, some very interesting additional notes to say the least. So right off the top, if you have any interest in buying Silent Hill 2, guys, Green Man Gaming, they're partnered with the channel. I obviously promote them a lot, but Silent Hill 2 is 22% off for $54.59. Look, games last generation used to be $60. They're $70 now. GMG is hooking you up with Silent Hill 2, a Steam copy of the standard edition for $54 and change, even cheaper than what they were going for the regular price last generation. Now, it should be noted the deluxe edition does have the fake early access baked into it, which is absolutely wild. Like, it's one thing when you got, like, a game that has a bit of an online focus, like Space Marine 2 having early access. I still think that's absolutely whack, but a horror game, like, you know, a relatively short horror game having early access is just comedy in my opinion. I think it's even more funny. It's 48 hours. You'll be able to play it October 6th versus October 8th. That deluxe edition is 22% off for $62.39 as well, so you can get that a little bit cheaper if you do and you're desperate to play the game a little early. I think this is one that, guys, it's 48 hours. Like, I think you can wait 2 days to get the game even cheaper, but you know, I'll let you guys make that decision for yourself. But yeah, GMG, link in the description box below. On top of that, if you do pre-order the game, you do get the Mira the Dog Mask, the pre-order bonus content, and the deluxe edition will include the 48 hours of early access, and there's some other in-game items, digital art book, digital soundtrack, and you do have in-game cosmetics and things of that nature, so nothing too big to write home about. Silent Hill 2 is a ground-up remake of the original game, and this one is being done by Bloober Team. No, it's not being done in-house by Konami. Bloober Team is the studio that has done some very impressive horror games in the past. They did Layers of Fear, that enhanced release, and on top of that, they did The Medium not too long ago, and I thought The Medium was a super underrated horror title. I thought it had a really cool premise. They also worked on Observer, which was an incredibly psychological game. I would recommend that one as well, but yeah, this one isn't being done in-house by Konami like Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is. It actually got outsourced to Bloober Team. Konami is working on a plethora of other Silent Hill projects, however. And as far as upgrades go, you're rebuilding this game ground up from a visual standpoint with ray tracing and other cutting-edge technical enhancements. The world of Silent Hill and its unsettling ambiance is even realer than before, and with the inclusion of new immersive soundscapes, you'll feel like you're standing in the thick of it. Larger environments, so the game has been opened up from a design standpoint. Explore locations and buildings that were once inaccessible or are newly added in the remake. Enjoy the same acclaimed story. It's going to stay true to the original, but at the same time, expanding the game so you can experience the town of Silent Hill with fresh eyes across an expanded map, and in that expanded map you'll have no load times whatsoever as well, so that's quite nice. They also did shift the camera. Over the shoulder camera, the remake moves from the original's fixed camera viewpoints to an over the shoulder perspective, putting you closer to what James sees for a more thrilling, more immersive experience as you explore the town and come face to face with the monsters. You've also got evolved combat gameplay. You've got familiar weapons that were in the originals like the steel pipe and the handgun, and now they are updated updated in this new combat system. Avoid attacks with carefully timed dodges, aim down sights, and more, making monster encounters more engaging and nerve-wracking than prior. So definitely a lot of refinements and enhancements, and I gotta say, the initial footage of Silent Hill 2 looked a little bit concerning. Like, I wasn't completely sold on the game, but I feel like some of the more recent gameplay that Bloober Team has shown out has looked really good. On top of that, this game will have DualSense support and DualSense integrated features, so if you do have a DualSense controller, it does note full controller support for the DualSense. Obviously, you can use an Xbox controller as well. Now we gotta talk about this, the system requirements. There's been no indication on whether or not the game is gonna be Steam Deck supported. I would venture to guess it's not going to be. This is a true next generation title. It is not on PS4 and Xbox One. If it is going to be running on the deck, chances are it'll be at the lowest settings at 30 FPS, which is fine. Looking at the minimum requirements, I could see it being possible. Given that these minimum requirements are for 1080p low settings at 30 FPS, Steam Deck 1200 by 800, but you're looking at a Core i7 6700K, a Ryzen 5 3600, 16 gigabytes of RAM, a GTX 1070 Ti, or AMD Radeon RX 5700, and again, that is for 1080p, no upscaling, but low and medium settings is what's noted, and at a stable 30 FPS. SSD is recommended as well, so assess that however you want. I actually do like that they're at least clarifying what resolution and what settings you're going to be able to play the game at, but low/medium, I don't like that because the contrast between low and medium usually is one of the most distinct differences when you're talking about running a game. So is it low? Is it medium? It should be more specific as far as that's concerned. Recommended is where things get very interesting. Intel Core i7 8700K, Ryzen 5 3600X, 16 gigs of RAM, GPU, RTX 2080 or a Radeon 6800 XT. Now, this is the recommended requirements, and we're only working with 2 tiers of requirements here. This is for, and as it notes verbatim, playing on recommended requirements should enable to play on medium quality settings. So medium is what they are noting for recommended in 60 frames per second or a high quality settings in 30 frames per second in full HD, that's 1080p. Or 4K using DLSS or similar technology. SSD is recommended. I know it's a very heated debate on whether or not DLSS is something that should be baked into these recommended requirements, but taking DLSS out of the picture for a second, 1080p, high settings, 30 FPS being recommended is kind of insane to me, but I would let it slide if we had multiple tiers or more tiers of system requirements. So for those of you guys that are playing at 1440p and 4K and you're not using DLSS, this is going to be an incredibly demanding game. Now, even if you're using DLSS, if you're going the 1440p or 4K route and you're looking to play it at the highest settings possible and get over 30 FPS, you're talking 60 frames per second, you're gonna need something considerably better than the 2080. So let's say you're at a 1440p resolution, you're using DLSS and you're trying to play the game high setting 60 FPS. You're probably gonna need in the 3080 range for that. At least that is what I perceive it as. I don't have access to the game right now, obviously, and the game's under embargo, so I wouldn't be able to tell you, but looking at these system requirements, if you want to play at a high resolution, even using DLSS, and then get 60 frames per second maxed out, and I don't know if high is the cap to this game's visual. Generally speaking, it's low, medium, high, ultra. That's generally how most games go, so if you're talking even one above high, then we're getting into very, very interesting territory as far as actually being able to run this game. But I think, yeah, this game's going to bring PCs to its knees if you're trying to max it out and use all the bells and whistles. So keep that in mind as far as performance goes, and I think this is going to be one that's going to be incredibly interesting to monitor as far as that's concerned. But that's going to do it for me. Again, wanted to give you guys the heads up on getting the game cheaper because it's considerably cheaper. Had to go over those system requirements because I feel like that's getting a little bit lost in the shuffle. And I do find the system requirements are pretty interesting, all things considered. But let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. I know this is going to be a game a lot of people are going to wait for a deep discount on, and if that's the case, more power to you. There's a lot of games coming out. Sparking Zero and Metaphor are about to drop as well, so a lot of options in a plethora of different genres. But that's going to do it for me. All of your thoughts down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.